How am I supposed to keep my spirits up when one in every 3 times we talk, I upset you? I feel like nothing I do will ever help. I'm not enough for you. I know that you think otherwise, but that's just hopefulness. If you do ever take the time to read, I just hope maybe you'll understand. 12:13 p.m. I saw what I could only believe to be the future. A future in which I sink into a deep pit of rage. I wonder why those thoughts spiraled into my head. I want to be understood.
What do you want, Shinji?
What I fear is...
What I want is...
Can I stay next to you?
May I stay here? Do you like me?
Do you want to go where your mother is?
No.
Don't you want to go be with your father?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because I'm afraid of being hated.
Because my identity might start to disappear.
What is it that you wish for? What is it that you want?
You're very insecure, aren't you? To become secure, I have to have value. I want to be worth something. I want to be worth enough to attract the attention of others.
But your value is something you have to find for yourself. You have to find it, Shinji.
I have no value without it.
My life is worthless without it. Then what are you?
Something every human desires, whether they accept it or not, is to be understood. Yet no one is truly able to understand one another. Yes, there are some exceptions, but in the grand scheme of things, we can only ever truly understand ourselves. And even that is something difficult. It's a frustrating thing not to be able to understand your or even someone else's emotions, and comprehending to the fullest extent of our abilities is something most lack. The patience to fully understand something is also one of those problems. You see, people don't like to hear the other side of the coin, whether it be from the fear of getting hurt, criticized, or called out on their actions. There's an abundance of things that can halt someone's interpretation of what you say, whether they take it and expand, or simply deny it, having only their feelings intact. You see, every human has their own way of spinning the wheel. Some may look very similar, but in some way, shape, or form, it's always different.
Become strong like your father, a man of character, a compassionate man who protects others.
I couldn't help them. Don't you understand?
Isn't there anyone tough enough to challenge me? Grandma told me to be strong, but I've never really understood what that means. I'll get my answer when I defeat this man.
Where'd you get all those awful injuries?
I want to be strong like you. I want to be a new person. Mr. Takamura, what does it mean to be strong? Since then, I've fought all kinds of people. I've trained every day, and somehow I managed to gain a little confidence in my timid self. But I still never learned what it means to be strong. There's only one way to find out.
I have to win!
To get the answer!
I've never been a fan of talking about my past, mainly because it leads me to that long-term question. How does one change? Then, to get people to understand me, I have to be strong enough to say how I feel. And honestly, I can't stop these thoughts of change. Maybe I did it all wrong. These problems that arrived from the me I am now don't make sense. Did I change permanently? Or did I force it, pushing a narrative that stole bits and parts of 2D characters' personalities just to have one of my own? Then, the first one, the one I could never go back to. I wonder if it's still there. I wonder if I could ever go back to that time. A time where everything was much easier. A time where I weren't looking at the moon or other bits and parts of nature that I found interesting. I didn't find anything interesting at that time. I didn't care about anything. I now care about everything. It was a sacrifice I made to stay sane, a trick that's worked up until now. Why now? Why must I deal with all these obstacles? I don't want to be forced to. I don't want to do this for much longer. I'm not sure how much I can take before breaking becomes the only possibility for me. I never intended for this video to be this long, but now that I'm kinda sorta realizing that it did take this long just to edit this video, I was like, okay, maybe I should like close this off. I just really hope that you guys can take away the fact that it does take a lot to understand someone, and I know that it can be frustrating and very difficult to try. It's somewhat difficult to try. I know if a person's really like determined to try, it won't be that hard. But someone who struggles with consistency, it will be very difficult to try and learn how to understand people. I used to be one of those people that didn't really know how to understand anyone because that's just how I was raised. I wasn't raised to be a kind person per se. I had a very rough upbringing, but that's not to say that my entire life has been changed from that, because things at that time and from that time have gotten better. And if I was still in that same predicament that I was when I was still young, I probably would not be here by now. So I'm glad that things have changed. Now, as much as I would love to leave the video off right there, there's still just one last thing I wanted to talk about. It's the fact of why I haven't been uploading. And because I had an entire 18 minute video that was like almost ready, and I was going I was gonna post it. I really was. And then my life just was engulfed in absolute flames, and I was trapped in a predicament that I couldn't necessarily get out of without sacrificing something in return. To get out of it, something had to go. And in doing so, I ended up hurting myself, which hurt others as well. The the people that hurt me ended up getting hurt that I hurt myself. It was a loop of never-ending hurting that eventually died down. It sort of ended, but it didn't end. And I was just like, "Oh, hey, I want to make another video." But the other video, it's like entirely different from all my others. It's like an anime thing about it's a love anime. I'm not really gonna say much about it, but you'll see it when you see it. I can't really say when it'll come out, but you'll definitely see it when you'll see it. The issue at hand was about people not understanding me. I got kind of tired of it, really, and in my own self-loathing, I kind of just sort of wanted to make a video about it, a video about helping people to at least try to understand one another, or even anything, just anything to help everyone try their best at understanding others and understanding themselves as well. Because you can't get anywhere without understanding yourself and truly liking who you are. I realize that's another problem I have too, that I also need to work on as well. I struggle with liking myself and the things that I do, the way I speak, and like that's why it's so hard going back and doing double takes to all the voice recordings that I do, even though this one's a one take. But sometimes I do hate change, and sometimes I don't. Change is like, it could be good and bad at the exact same time. And I guess the fear comes from that uncertainty. Like, I don't know what's going to happen after. I'm scared of almost all forms of change because I never know what could happen after that change. It's scary. It's very scary. But I think part of growing up and maturing really kind of holds that. It holds that fear of not knowing what's going to happen after that change. I feel like now I can have a conversation with anyone, and I could talk to them and try and understand what they're saying and how they feel about a certain topic without cutting them off on purpose and other stuff like that. Like, it's things like that that make me stop and think that, yeah, I have changed. I have changed that aspect of myself. I'm not sure if I'll ever fully change all aspects of myself. I don't think I ever really want to. But it's cool if that change happens naturally. I don't want it to come rather out of the blue. I kind of want to just focus on right here and right now. And right now, I'm sitting here talking to my computer with a red dot on it that says recording. And I'm not gonna think about the past anymore because the past is the past, and that's good. That's okay. And the future, whatever. It's not here yet. It's only about now. And right now, I might draw some. I might go to sleep. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna play Persona 3 Reload. See ya.